Like, the fact is, when you've got your coach saying she's very limited is not a good sign. That is not a good sign at all, especially when it comes to, like, it doesn't seem like she has an injury, it's just tightness, which could genuinely come down to her being obviously, again, her trying to ramp it up, and if she's put on a lot of upper body bulk, that could affect it. A lot of things. So you see here, the Fever are being super cautious. The Fever coach Stephanie White said she's making great progress. This is from Chloe Peterson at the Indy Star. I assumed, is there anything else we've heard? Limited in practice? No, it seems to be, it says they haven't specifically stated what injury she's working back from. Signs point to be something muscular. Clark spent some time in the stationary bike and she's out of the game. Stationary bikes are usually used to keep muscles warm and keep the blood flowing, which prevents stiffness and cramping. She's also, I just saw that Kelsey Mitchell's injured. I gotta look more into that before talking about it. But a lot of people were joking about how Caitlin Clark is running. A lot of people were joking about how Caitlin Clark in their training practice footage, how she is running, the speed she's kind of going at, and they're like, oh, I've heard people saying she runs like an old woman, and I'm like, well, clearly there's something bothering her. And again, I think she's gonna be good day one for the season. I don't think she plays on Saturday. Like, the fact is, when you've got your coach saying she's very limited is not a good sign. That is not a good sign at all, especially when it comes to, like, it doesn't seem like she has an injury, it's just tightness.
All right, everyone, get your cold packs and stress snacks ready because Stephanie White has just dropped a bombshell about Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. And let's just say, it's anything but calm. Did somebody order some extra drama with their basketball season? Because this latest update feels even wilder than a heated overtime decision. What's going on now? Who's hurt? Who's angry? And why is WNBA injury curse suddenly trending everywhere? Things have officially taken a chaotic turn, both on the hardwood and far beyond it.
Got the most thorough update that we have directly from the source in Caitlin Clark, talking about the left leg injury, the tightness she has been dealing with, but she downplayed it. Didn't seem to be too concerned with it, said maybe too much time in the gym has been led to it. Said she just got to be smart, has to be smart about recovery.
Caitlin Clark limping off the court just days before. Her much-anticipated clash with Angel Reese. Oh no, not today. Basketball gods, please not today. Somewhere in Chicago, Angel Reese probably kicked back with some popcorn and took it all in like a blockbuster Marvel premiere. And honestly, who could blame her? Right when the WNBA was hyping the most exciting rookie rivalry since Britney versus Christina, if they both played forward and hit step-back threes, Caitlin's ankle called a timeout of its own. The hype was off the charts, and now fans are asking if this injury rewrites the whole strategy.
Well, there's another story that doesn't make you go, aw, and that is the update on Caitlin Clark from Fever practice, head coach Stephanie White. Now, I'm not going to blow this out of proportion because this is normal run-of-the-mill stuff, but it's certainly worth covering and certainly worth following. So we know that the Fever, out of nowhere, we got the injury report on Caitlin Clark before the first preseason game against the Mystics, which she missed. It caught us all by surprise because there was no indication there was anything amiss.
And who's breaking the news? None other than Stephanie White, the head coach, the injury informant, and now unofficial bringer of heartbreak. She entered the spotlight like the clipboard-carrying Grim Reaper, casually announcing there might be a problem. Her words were plain but crushing, leaving Fever fans fearing the absolute worst. The calm way she said it somehow made it even heavier. She hinted at a potentially serious setback, and fans could practically hear the disappointed sigh ripple through the stadium. The energy instantly changed as nerves and doubt filled the air. Hope still lingered, but it now felt as shaky as a house of cards in a storm. Everyone was left wondering what this meant for their star and the rest of the season. Support Caitlin Clark. Subscribe the Basketball Prime stories and comment, CC is the GOAT below.
So today, lads, we're going to be talking about Caitlin Clark and the injury the injury that that Caitlin Clark has had, that she may or may not be ready to play.
Before everyone spirals into full panic mode and starts organizing candlelight vigils for Caitlin Clark, let's all take a moment to breathe. It might just be a small strain, a cautious limp, a light hobble. Maybe her laces were too tight, or she accidentally stepped on a Lego. Perhaps she simply needed a quick breather from carrying the entire Fever squad through the preseason grind. Because let's be real, she's nearly been doing it all by herself. A bit of rest never hurt anyone, right? It's probably not some season-ending nightmare, so let's stay collected and avoid calling emergency press briefings over a minor issue. Sometimes a little setback is exactly that. Just a little setback.
Okay, so first off, let's talk about Caitlin's injury, because this is just something we should just get off the table. And in practice yesterday, she did like bump knees with one of the guys that they were playing a scrimmage with. A lot of people started crashing out because, you know, her health is of the utmost importance to so many people and, you know, so many games and possibly even the whole league.
Naturally, in true sports, fan fashion, Twitter erupted faster than a burrito exploding in the microwave at 3 a.m. Loud, chaotic, and full of wild desperation. Mere seconds after Caitlin Clark limped off the court, the internet transformed into a rogue orthopedic clinic, with fans diagnosing injuries like they'd binged half an episode of Grey's Anatomy. One tweet dramatically declared, "Caitlin's done for the season," complete with a broken heart emoji and 3 crying faces. Another joked, "She tore her ACL, her MCL, and maybe even her Netflix password." Meanwhile, someone boldly claimed, "Angel Reese won by default," as if the outcome now hinged on dramatic tweets. But let's slow down a bit. Karen from Indiana City. No need to hit the panic button just yet. Caitlin's injury? A simple ankle tweak. Nothing extreme. No spinal trauma, no life-altering damage, just a normal athlete's twist. She'll probably walk it off like a champ, not get airlifted to Area 51. Let the moment pass before we turn this into a Greek tragedy directed by ESPN's drama crew. Injuries are part of the sport. This wasn't a crisis. It was a speed bump. Sometimes a bit of patience and perspective makes all the difference.
When I'm in practice, I'm full go. I'm not limited in any regard. Whatever drills I'm in the last 2 days, I've been pretty active, and you know, there's no reason to sort of overdo anything right now. It's been the beginning of the season. Still don't play here for another week, so the last 2 days have been really, really good for myself.
You know where it started? What caused it to get her in the first place?
I don't. Probably just a little too much basketball. I think, you know, I love being in the gym, but I think understanding like when to be in the gym and, you know, when to recover and things like that. So I think just finding a balance and obviously just getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was nothing major.
Now let's dive into this Fever versus Sky rivalry that's being hyped like a Mayweather title bout. On one end, you've got Caitlin Clark, the basketball phenom with a shooting range so deep it might need a telescope. On the other, Angel Reese, the self-titled Bayou Barbie turned Chicago enforcer, exuding swagger like a cat surrounded by rocking chairs. If these two had hype trailers, the Avengers would look like a student film in comparison. This was meant to be the matchup, the WNBA's Taylor versus Kanye moment, but with blocks, steals, and no stolen mics. Now there's a real possibility. One star might be benched in a walking boot, holding an ice pack and watching her dream unravel from the sideline. The drama feels scripted, like something Shakespeare cooked up. Caitlin finally makes it to center stage. The lights flash, the fans cheer, the popcorn's hot, and then bam, ankle betrayal. It's like prepping for the Olympics for 4 years, only to trip over a banana peel during the opening ceremony. Meanwhile, Angel Reese might be in her living room doing defensive shuffles, whispering, "Please be good, I want the smoke," while mentally gearing up. This rivalry was set to be iconic, but now it all depends on Caitlin's recovery and her resilience.
Oh, Rob, Caitlin Clark sat out the first preseason game because of some tightness in her leg. She played the second game. You can tell she wasn't 100%. She wasn't moving as quickly as she normally does, but she played fine. So she isn't that injured. But there's some caution based upon what Stephanie White had to say. She was limited in practice.
And while we're at it, let's not forget about poor Kelsey Mitchell. Yes, her too. Apparently, the basketball gods weren't content with just one injury scare this week. No, that would have been way too kind. Instead, they tossed Kelsey into the turmoil just for kicks, because what's a WNBA season without a little emotional turbulence for Fever fans? She's now facing an ankle injury, because of course she is. Why wouldn't she be? At this rate, it's basically a team tradition. The moment someone finds their rhythm, bam, ankle chaos. Now Fever fans are nervously pacing their homes, clutching foam fingers like protective charms, seriously considering a locker room exorcism. Bring on the crystals, light the sage, chant the mantras, whatever works. When your star guard starts hobbling and your rookie sensation is already questionable, your backcourt starts looking like it's patched together with prayers and duct tape. Honestly, it doesn't even feel like basketball anymore. It's survival mode. The ligaments must be texting each other, planning their next betrayal. This season has become a true trial of endurance, and the injuries are just the latest twist in this wild saga. All fans can do now is hope healing comes quickly enough to salvage the Fever's playoff dreams.
It's Fever Injury Update Day. You know, that seems to be the major concern around the team right now is the health of its star players. Obviously, Caitlin Clark being at the top of that list. Kelsey Mitchell, though, as well. And we got a little bit of a status update on both of those players from the
Concerns with Kelsey's finger. She seems fine with it and just playing through it.
I forget about Kelsey's finger because, you know, I mean, she was playing great with it overseas too. I mean, certainly, you know, her shot's a little funky in the way that it releases anyway, and I think that she's learned to protect it. So for her, it's like she's efficient, she's effective, until she starts complaining about it hurting.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, the Fever didn't draft Caitlin Clark to be sidelined with her foot on ice, while Angel Reese collects steals like it's a clearance sale. That's not why we're watching. We want buzzer beaters, deep threes, fierce trash talk, and post-game tweets that ignite global comment wars. No one signed up for limping exits, cryptic day-to-day updates, and vague reports that read like a confusing apology text from your ex. And the headlines? They're more dramatic than soap operas. Caitlin Clark injury. Is her season over already? At this rate, someone's going to Photoshop her next to a crying Michael Jordan meme, declaring the Fever cursed by ancient basketball spirits. Let's all relax. It's probably just a small tweak. Maybe Caitlin's ankle wanted a moment of fame. A little reminder that even she's not superhuman. Sometimes athletes' bodies say, hey, slow down for a second. Hopefully, it's just a diva ankle moment. Nothing a massage and a cheeky Instagram post can't fix. No need to hit the panic button. This likely isn't anything major, and Caitlin should be back draining threes and dishing dimes before we even finish freaking out. Let's keep the faith. She's not done yet.
which could genuinely come down to her being obviously, again, her trying to ramp it up, and if she's put on a lot of upper body bulk, that could affect it. A lot of things. So you see here, the Fever are being super cautious. The Fever coach Stephanie White said she's making great progress. This is from Chloe Peterson at the end.
Still, it's tough not to feel a bit anxious. Fever fans have had that Sky matchup circled in red since draft day. This isn't your average game. It's a cinematic clash in the making. Reese versus Clark is shaping into a rivalry for the ages. Caitlin's deep-range heroics and clutch performances, combined with Angel's unstoppable presence in the paint, make every meeting unmissable. It's the kind of game you don't postpone over something small like a tweaked toe. But let's not assume the worst. Caitlin is wired like an old-school sports icon, probably limping from the court to an ice bath, then straight to the gym in a walking boot. She's the kind who thrives on doubters and probably cuddles a basketball at night. One minor ankle issue isn't about to derail her mission to shred defenses. And Kelsey Mitchell? She's not some sidekick. She's a certified scorer, likely. To tape it up, drain 53 threes, and hobble off saying, "Yep, that just happened." These women are warriors, not made of glass. Though to be honest, Fever's medical team might be bubble wrapping the roster and asking everyone to hold their sneezes around Caitlin, just to be safe.
But then there was the injury report, says questionable with the left leg issue. She winds up missing the game. Clark chalked it up to tightness in the leg. She plays the next day at Iowa. Of course, a significant game for the preseason considering what it meant to the fan base there. So she probably pushed through maybe a little bit more than they would have had that had been any other game. But nonetheless, a solid indicator that there's nothing really wrong and it's not overly concerning.
Meanwhile, Stephanie White is probably running impromptu tryouts in the parking lot. Can you handle the ball? Do both your ankles work? Great, you're in. She's likely thinking, at this point, the Fever might have to bring in someone from the Pacers or check if Tamika Catchings is free for a comeback. And let's not ignore the fact that this whole saga has turned into pure entertainment. Every sports pundit and commentator is chiming in. ESPN's airing a special called Anklegate, the Caitlin Chronicles. Somewhere, Skip Bayless is likely blaming LeBron for all this chaos, while a podcast host in their basement has already declared Caitlin's retirement and is planning a new show named Ice Packs and Disrespect. But really, let's hope it's nothing major. Whether you're a fan or a critic, Caitlin Clark is a game changer. She's the one your cousin from Iowa keeps bringing up. She's the reason your dad can now name every team in the WNBA. Caitlin's transforming casual viewers into die-hard followers and making her critics tune in just to hate watch. If the WNBA wants to expand its fan base, they'll do whatever it takes, short of summoning a magic healer, to ensure she's healthy and ready to go. Caitlin Clark is more than a star. She's a movement.
Mouth, obviously, she's playing in the preseason game too. If it was overly of concern, she would not be playing in the preseason game. There is no reason for her to be out there if there's a problem at all that could be exacerbated, especially with the regular season opener just over a week away right now. So hopefully this is the last we hear of it. I think she said, "I feel really good, honestly." And honestly, of course, we all hope that continues to be the case.
For now, all eyes are locked on the trainer's table like it's the grand finale of sports medicine. The NBA Finals of ankle recovery. Will Caitlin Clark rise to the occasion like a phoenix? Not just any phoenix, but one soaring with a reinforced ankle brace, a vengeance-fueled three-pointer, and the hopes of a nation wrapped in kinesiology. Tape? Will Kelsey Mitchell, defying every rule of ligament recovery, somehow bounce back in time to score 25 points like it's a casual Tuesday? The questions echo louder than the roaring crowd. But as we wait, someone, anyone, please treat Caitlin's ankle like the national treasure it is. Slide it into a hyperbaric chamber, wrap it in bubble wrap, play Beethoven to reduce inflammation, light a calming lavender candle, and softly murmur, "We need you. America needs you. Angel Reese especially needs you." Because the WNBA isn't just heating up, it's becoming a full-fledged soap opera on sneakers. Without Caitlin and the others, the future of the league feels incomplete. So here's to hoping the trainers work their magic and our stars return to the court, ready to amaze us once more.
I'm looking through. I'm trying to find any of the Fever aggregation accounts, and I mean, they're just showing the Scott Agnes clip of Caitlin Clark kind of moving and relocating, but she looks okay. She looks okay. She's still moving okay, getting in and out. And again, you might be saying she doesn't look as fast as normal, but she still looks...
And Fever fans, take a moment to breathe, settle in, and prepare yourselves. Light a candle, Maybe even build a small shrine out of foam fingers and old season tickets. Whatever it takes to pay homage to the unpredictable basketball gods. Heck, throw in a couple of well-worn sneakers as an offering just in case. Because if Caitlin Clark doesn't suit up for that Sky game, we won't be watching a classic showdown. It'll be more like a forgotten chapter in sports history titled, "What Could Have Been?" Let's face it, no one tunes in on a Saturday for load management or sideline towel waving. We show up for the chaos, the intense rivalries, the buzzer beaters, and that electrifying stare down where someone shouts, "She can't guard me," loud enough to trend on Twitter. Caitlin's ankle? Well, it had other plans. Maybe it's just a brief pause in the epic saga. Perhaps all it needed was some ice, a pep talk, and a break from carrying the weight of half the state of Indiana on her back. The court's set, the cameras are rolling, and every piece of popcorn is ready to explode. Here's hoping the ankle was just teasing us, building suspense like a seasoned pro. Because if Clark steps onto that court with her usual fire blazing, we won't just be witnessing a game. We'll be witnessing a showdown for the ages. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe to Basketball Prime Stories.